Howdy, y'all. You got the Bulldog on the channel. Uh, Getting this Ford Flex put back together, a little 3.5 I was working on. And here's something that I do. I don't know if it's right or not, but I've always done it this way. You know, after you've been into a motor, especially one like this where you had the front cover off and then you had to pull off something in the coolant system, which is when I did a water pump on, which is inside the front cover. It dumps a bunch of water into the oil or antifreeze, and you know, you just about have to change the oil afterwards. But what I do on these things is, you know, it's set still. All that antifreeze is going to go to the bottom, because they say oil and water don't mix. Well, it does if you turn it up. So what I do, see here if you can see it, I loosen the oil plug, you know, enough that it starts to leak. Yeah, you can see it there. As you can see, it's dribbling water out, antifreeze. And I let all the antifreeze that's separated out the bottom. Tighten the plug back up. Then I finish, you know, doing all the work to it. Or right now, I loosen the plug and then I put this side all back together, put the wheel well in. I'm going to put the wheel on, torque it. Hopefully, by that time, my dribble will have slowed down or stopped, because oil is a lot thicker than water. If you're leaking water out pretty good, it's going to leak oil out a lot slower. So whenever the dribble slows down or almost stops, I know that it's let all the water off the bottom of the oil, and I can tighten the plug up. Now, in the act of cleaning inside there, you're going to have fine debris. I washed the front of the thing off. I had some rags stuffed so that it wouldn't go into the oil pan, but of course I buffed it with my wheel, and then I sprayed everything off afterwards. But there's always going to be some junk that's caught in places that I didn't see or I didn't get to. So the reason that I take and let the water off the bottom of this oil is that I'm going to start it up and let it run, warm up a little bit on that old oil. Then, with all the contaminants that it just flushed off from where I've cleaned everything, all that's going to be suspended in the oil when I pull the plug and drain it out, and it'll all go out with the oil. This is something I started doing some years ago because, you know, especially on jobs like an intake manifold on those GMs that were just notorious for leaking water. You know, we always needed to change the oil afterwards because you dump a little bit of antifreeze in the oil when you take that intake off. Even if you drain the system, there's pockets of it in the intake manifold. When you pull it off, it tilts a little bit and it just dumps it right in there. Well, I thought, well, why don't I start it up and mix it all up? And that way, when I drain it, I'm not just getting the little bit that got to the pan, I'm getting all. And I started doing it that way and had really good luck with it. I have never lost an engine. Knock on wood. But I've always heard about contaminants in your cleaning tools, you know, making a motor blow up. It's like, don't you change the oil in it after you're done? My gosh. Doing a head gasket, doing an intake manifold gasket, you got to change the oil. Well, some people don't. So I just figured I'd throw that little piece of information out there. You know, most people will already be doing something like that, either changing the oil completely or at least draining the water off the bottom of it. Like I say, oil and antifreeze do mix. Anybody that's done any amount of work inside a motor will know what that looks like. And we can let a little bit of that pure water off the bottom, and then start it and let everything mix up really good, and then it'll get almost everything out of it whenever you drain the oil, because all that stuff will be suspended in the oil. Just a little tip: like, comment, subscribe, share it around. Hopefully the stuff that I'm talking about imparts some knowledge on people. So let everybody know. We'll talk to you later.